We'll start with coordinating the morning session.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Madam, can I do introduction of sir once again? Introduction of sir.
ma'am.
हाँ तो introduce करायला लावा.
Yes. Room
Very
1.
good morning, everyone. So, in this refresher course, IKS based curriculum development, myself, Dr. Devidas Bhagat, currently working as an assistant professor in the Government Institute of Forensic Science, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. So friends, today we have we also yesterday listened sir's lecture, Professor Sri Upendra Rao sir lecture in in yesterday first session. It's my fortune to introduce such kind of dynamic person, such kind of knowledgeable person to introduce in front of you. Professor Sri Upendra Rao sir is a senior most professor at the School of Sanskrit Index Study, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Professor Rao specialized in Sanskrit, Pali, Indian knowledge tradition, Sanskrit literature and poetics, Indian knowledge system, and early Buddhist philosophy. As per at the, I just talk about the leadership here, sir specialized in Sanskrit, Pali, IKS, Sanskrit literature, poetic, Indian knowledge systems, and early Buddhist philosophy in Pali. Leadership quality concern of Professor Rao. Professor Rao previously served as the chairperson of Special Center for Sanskrit Study. Sir, also member of both executive and academic council. As per as the is author profile concerned, over his 16 years of full-time professor, Sir author and edited 30 books, includes 5 Satyakavyas in Sanskrit. As per as the international relation concern, Professor Rao served as a visiting professor in Cambodia, holding the ICCRS Buddhist and Sanskrit Study and chair, which is established by the government of India. In short, Professor Rao is team productive, academic, deep expert in the classical Indian knowledge and philosophy with a significant of leadership experience and international engagement. So it's my fortune to introduce such kind of international great personality in this online galaxy. I also a special thank to our course coordinator, Professor Madhuri Sound Madam, for inventing such kind of facility in this IKS IKS refresher course. I also thank to Professor Rafi, coordinator and assistant director. I also thank to the all staff of the UGC MEMTTC, Dr. Bamu. So thank you everyone. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
yeah, thank you. Yesterday, thank you everybody, and Madhuriji, and just now Devidas Bhagatji. Yesterday's topic and today's topic is somewhat similar. Sometimes people may think, but it is very difficult for me because yesterday we spoke about the Indian knowledge systems exceptionally in Pali literature. And now Buddhism, today's topic is perspectives of Buddhist studies in Indian knowledge systems. So what is the perspective of Buddhist studies? Buddhist studies also a famous famous department nowadays in the universities. In many universities, Buddhist studies we have. So what is the relevance of these Buddhist studies to Indian knowledge systems? That we had to see. This is very interesting. If you pay attention, there are several things, several interesting things in Buddhist studies also. So, I think you can see my slides.
Yes, sir.
Perspectives of Buddhist studies. You see, what are the perspectives of Buddhist studies in Indian knowledge systems? Buddhist Sanskrit literature includes a wide range of artistic traditions. So now today we are taking the Buddhist Sanskrit literature. Before this, I will stop here and I have to explain something to you because you are all not belonging to Buddhist studies department or Pali department or Sanskrit department. There may be few people, but the large number of faculty, I think we need a lot of explanation for my presentation. Otherwise, you will confuse. The problem is the same problem. We lost our Indian traditions. That is why I need to explain. Buddhist studies are completely based on basically they are based on the Theravada Pali literature. But later on, at the same time also, we cannot say when actually, from 3rd century BC, Buddha's teachings were also collected in Sanskrit. And that is called Buddhist Sanskrit Agamas, Sutra literature. In course of time, that is developed. So Buddhist literature is not limited to Pali only. Buddhist literature has also developed, preserved in Sanskrit. Now, if you understand this, Buddha's teachings also are preserved in Sanskrit literature. That is called.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. So please share the full screen, sir.
Yeah. I will share. First, listen to me first. I'm not reading the slide. I'm giving introduction. That is very important. Otherwise, you cannot understand the slide. So Buddhist literature developed also in Sanskrit. Somebody is waiting to join. Somebody has to admit. It is showing to me. Yes. So Buddhist literature, we have vast literature is preserved in Sanskrit. That is called Buddhist Sanskrit literature. We have large number of Sanskrit books in Buddhist literature. This is not known to Indians so much. You must know this. Many people do not know even Pali Buddhist literature, which is called Theravada Buddhist literature. But later, Buddhist literature developed in Sanskrit also. Earlier, there was Sutra literature in Mahayana. That is, and then it developed into Mahayana, and there were so many sutras. There were so many texts developed in Buddhist in Sanskrit language. That is called Mahayana Buddhist literature. This is very important point. And now, in this Buddhist Sanskrit literature, includes a wide range of artistic traditions that serve both religious and cultural purposes. This is what I am mentioning. These traditions encompass sculpture, painting, music, dance, drama, and architecture, such as viharas and stupas. Stupas means mourning monuments. Stupa means, you see, after death, we construct a stupa. So Buddhist Sanskrit literature includes a wide range of artistic traditions that serve both religious and cultural purposes. These traditions encompass sculpture, painting, music, dance, drama, and architecture, such as viharas and stupas. So this is all actually, if you study all these things, that becomes a great part of Indian knowledge systems. These art forms are not only conveying Buddhist teachings and depict scenes from the life of the Buddha, but also play essential roles in ritual and worship. This is what you have to understand. These art forms not only convey Buddhist teachings and depict scenes from the life of the Buddha, but also play essential role in rituals and worship. Over time, these styles have evolved through cultural exchanges along trade routes. In the Lalita Vistara, that is one Sutra Grantha, Lalita Vistara, Buddha's story, very simply and elaborately described. That is why it is called Lalita Vistara. That is nothing but the Buddha's life events, the Buddha's story. In Sanskrit, in Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit, some people say, but we say Mishra Sanskritam. That means Mishra Sanskritam, because Buddhist Sanskrit literature is of two types. Two kinds of Sanskrit it is developed. One is completely Sanskrit according to Panini grammar. The other is, it is mixed with the Prakrit. That is called a hybrid Sanskrit, mixed with the Prakrit language. It is called Mishra Sanskritam. Sometimes it looks like Prakrit and sometimes it looks like Sanskrit. So Lalita Vistara is such a text. It is in Mishra Sanskrita Sutra. In this Lalita Vistara, the term lipi refers to writing systems or scripts. So there is a chapter of lipi chapter. So when Siddhartha grown up, his father has sent him to Gurukula to study various kinds of Indian knowledge traditions. One of them is Lipi Shastra. Here, all Lipis are mentioned here, ancient Lipis. That is interesting for us. Lipi refers to writing system or the scripts. And the text famously lists 64 different Lipis. That means 64 different scripts it mentions. The text, Lalita Vistara, it mentions 64 different scripts it mentions. And they all were known to Buddha, Siddhartha. Siddhartha has learned all of them. Among these, the Brahmi Lipi is identified as a primary script. The Brahmi script is identified as the important script, from which many modern Indian scripts are derived. Even Devanagari, in Marathi, is not having script. It has taken Devanagari only, I think. So, and also Marathi has so much similarity with the Pali. You see, Allah we have in Marathi, also in Telugu, but not in Hindi and not in Sanskrit. In Vedic Sanskrit, we have law, and Pali, we have law. So that is what actually we have linguistic relation. Yesterday, I explained that. And here, all these modern lipis, scripts, evolved from Brahmi script. Other scripts noted include Angalipi, Magadha Lipi, and Bhauma Deva Lipi. Bhauma Deva Lipi. The enumeration of these various scripts highlight the enumeration of these various scripts highlights the linguistic and cultural diversity of ancient India. Brahmi as a foundational script. The text places the Brahmi script at the beginning of this list, suggests its importance and widespread use in ancient India, because it is keeping first Brahmi. Mentions of other specific lipis. The Lalita Vistara also mentions the particular scripts, including Angalipi, Magadha Lipi. Angalipi, ancient script, highlighted for its existence and the significance of that era's linguistic diversity. Magadha Lipi discusses 7th century Tibetan texts. Magadha Lipi is mentioned there. Bhaumadeva Lipi, described as a specific type of script. The inclusion of these diverse scripts in the text reflects the rich linguistic landscape of India during the time of Buddha. At Sanchi, see, just above the scene showing people, then next actually the figure comes next, but now I wrote here only. The people worshipping the Buddha's hair relic. The next, actually, that next you will find this one. But I wrote in advance. It shows the people worshipping the Buddha's hair relic some cards left on the inscription. Some cards left on the inscription. It says that decoration by the ivory workers of the Vidisha. It is mentioned there. This is translated from the original language. Vedesha, Vedesakehi, Dantakarehi. Dantakarehi, Rabakam Mandaka. This is what actually mentioned. At Sanchi, many skilled workers like masons, sculptors, masons, sculptors, and other artists are busy. They are building a stone railing and a path around the great stupa. This path is for pilgrims to walk around the stupa as a form of worship. Along this path, 4 large gateways are built, one in each direction, north, south, east, and west. These gateways are called toranas. Each torana has 3 horizontal bars on top and is covered with detailed carvings. The artists are carefully carving beautiful scenes on the toranas. These show stories from the Buddha's life, tales from his earlier lives, and images of animals, gods, and nature spirits. Some carving shows the figures, graceful women seen as symbol of beauty and good luck. This is the painting. Just above a scene showing people worshipping the Buddha's hair relief, some carvers left an inscription. Some carvers left an inscription. It says, you see here we are mentioning it. I already read this. Decoration by the ivory workers of Vidisha. So like this, we have a lot of this sculpture. Sculpture also one of the Shilpa Kala, one craft. So much Buddhism has a lot of contribution for the Shilpa Kala. This is one of the Indian knowledge traditions, Shilpa. It is also included into 18 Vidyas. Also, it is included into 64 fine arts, Lalita Kalas. So all this is developed. This is a contribution of Buddhism, Buddhist studies to this Indian knowledge systems. The Lalita Vistara, a biography of Buddha, discusses agriculture indirectly by mentioning various plants and farming practices relevant to its time. So indirectly, it mentions the various things like agriculture, it mentions. Indirectly, by mentioning the various names of the various plants and farming practices relevant to its time. The text Lalita Vistara lists plants using for a range of purposes, including medicinal, spiritual, and cultural applications. Some of these plants are described in the context of local ecosystems and harvesting. For example, Musa acuminata, a type of banana, is highlighted for its utility. All these things are preserved in Lalita Vistara. Why? The Lalita Vistara is not primarily focused on the agriculture. It offers valuable insights through its descriptions of the natural world and plant life, reflecting the agricultural and agrarian contexts of ancient India. The presence of diverse plant species and the mention of harvesting practices suggests that agriculture was an established and important part of life during that period. So agriculture, the description of rainwater in ancient Indian literature. Rain is the main source of water for agriculture. As without rain, there can't be water on the earth for the growth of crops. Even Kalidasa says, Dudohagam sayajnaya sasyaya maghavadimam sampad vinimaye nobham dadatur bhuvanadvayam. Raghuvamsha says. So, rains are described everywhere in Sanskrit literature, also in Buddhist Sanskrit literature. Being agriculturally developed, ancient Indians knew the importance of rainwater. Varahamihira says in Garbhalakshana Prakarana, in his book, Annam Jagatah Prana, Pravutkalasya Chandam Ayattam, Yasmadatah Parikshaha Pravutkalaha Prayatnena. You see what it means? Re Annam Jagatah Prana means food is the soul, is the life of the entire world. And this food is coming from the water. And water is coming from the rainy season. That is why rains become very important for us. That's what he said here in this context. That is why rains became very important. That is why Tasmadata Pariksha Praudkala Prayatnina means everybody. That is why everybody should try to know, understand the rainy season. So if you say that I don't want to know anything rainy season, but I want food, it is not reasonable. If you want food, because nowadays we are not doing agriculture. Many of us not doing agriculture. We have shifted to the metropolitan cities. We don't know where from food is coming. We don't know where from milk is coming, where from various kinds of fruits are coming. But in ancient time, for the sake of the food, they had to do the agriculture. And that is why if you want food and if you say that we don't know the Pravratikala means rainy season, and we don't want to know, it cannot work. So because crops are developed by the water, and water is coming from the rains, and the rains are coming in rainy season, that is why you should, with great effort, you should get prayatnena, with great effort, you should know about the rainy season first. When rains are coming, what are the symptoms of you should understand in the beginning. A farmer should understand in the beginning only when rains are coming, when they are not coming. They had that capacity in ancient time that you can find in Buddhist Sanskrit literature and also Pali literature, also Sanskrit literature. That is how actually our Indian knowledge treasures are preserved in these languages. So for example, in Dhanya Suttam Suttanipata, you can find Tena Samayena Dhaniyo Gopo Mahanadi Tire Pativasati. Gundam Palanato, this is a Pali. Gundam Palanato so Gopoti Uchati. Tassahi Kimsamattani Go Sahassani Honti. Sattavisa Sahassa Gavo Kiram Duihanti. Dhaniyo Eko Gopo Ahu. Gopo Nama Ekam Hivathani Nahonti. Vasake Chattaro Mase Thale Vasanti. Avasese Attamase Yatta Tinodakam Sukham Labhati Tatta Vasanti. Tassa Sattaputta, Sattadhitaro, Sattasudisa, Anekecha, Kammakara, Bhavimsu. Ete Gopa, Vassassa Nimittam Jananti, Kada Utti Hehissati Tipi Jananti. Yada Sakunika, Kulavakani, Rukhagge Karonti, Kakataka, Udakasamipe, Dwaram, Pidahitva, Thalasamipadvari, Navalanjenti, Tada Sutika Bhavissatiti, Te Gopa Ganhanti. Ivina Pakarina Te Gopa Vassasta Nimittam Jananti. So this is all description of the rains in Buddhist literature. The great cloud began to rain, filling the both lowlands and highlands. Hearing the rain god pour down, Dhaniya, a farmer in those days, exclaimed, "How fortunate we are to have seen the Blessed One. We seek refuge with him." And he's also praising Buddha, and also he's also praising the rains. The one with vision, he says. He praises Buddha. So in this way, we have a lot of rains and environmental issues are discussed in Buddhist literature. The Buddha recognized the importance of forests and peaceful solitude. They offer as essential conditions because these peaceful solitude places and forests and gardens, you see, they are very important. They are coming again and again in Buddhist literature because they offer as essential conditions for achieving the highest attainment in life. So if you want a peaceful life, if you want nirvana, you should go to such solitude places, such lonely places, such forests and peaceful places, healthy places, not in crowds and not in pollution. Consequently, he chose the Uruvela forest and Niranjana river as the most suitable place for meditation. That is why he went to Uruvela Niranjana forest, Niranjana river. You see where Buddha went. He went to many places, but ultimately, when he reached to Uruvela forest and sat on the bank of Niranjana river, he got enlightenment there. That is Bodh Gaya. So that time it was, you can imagine how beautiful it was. It was full of trees and full of forest. It was so pious place. And you should know it was already pious and well-known place. That's why Buddha went there. Gaya was already well-known. So key events in the Buddha's life unfolded in nature settings, in natural settings. From his birth to his Mahaparinirvana, all things have taken place under the trees. Maya Devi gave birth under the... Maya Devi is the mother of Buddha, Siddhartha. Maya Devi Gajaswapna Phalam, Lumbini Vanajatam, Asita Vacho Paripurakam, Shakyad Vayagyatarakam, Buddham Shuddham Vandeham Tam Jagadanandakaram Vande. This is what I wrote in my own poetry in Sanskrit about Buddha. Maya Devi gave birth to Buddha under the Shala tree. Shala tree. A very tall tree, Shala. Even Kalidasa describes the Shala tree in Raghuvamsha. Yudho Raska Vrushaskandha Shala Pramshuhu Mahabhuja. Shala. It is very tall tree, and in Pali it is called Sala tree. So she gave birth under the Shala tree in grove of Shala trees. Shalavana, there, known as Lumbini. That is called Lumbini. While she was, that time, the entire Nepal was a kind of kingdom in Bharatavarsha. It was not separate country. So if somebody says that Buddha is born in Nepal, it is not correct. It is like same thing that Panini is born in Pakistan, because the Panini's birthplace also now in Pakistan. You cannot say like that. So that time, that was a part of our Jambudvipa and Bharatavarsha and Bharatakhanda. So these great people have taken birth in Bharatavarsha. So in grove, that is Lumbini, while she was on her way, she has given birth to Buddha in the Shala trees grove. It is called Lumbini. While she was traveling to her mother's place, Devadaha. This location is situated between Kapilavastu, the capital city of Shakya clan, and the Devadaha, this Lumbini. The ancient capital of Koliya kingdom, this Devadaha, was the capital. Kapilavastu was the capital of Shakya clan. Devadaha was the ancient capital of the Koliya kingdom, Koliyas, which is located from 7 kilometers east of the Lumbini. This is Devadaha. So he took payasa, then he meditated. I think the story of Buddha, we don't have time to explain all that. Ultimately, he took some payasa. After that, he got enlightenment. He took payasa, sweet mixed with milk rice, that is payasa, served by Sujata under the banyan tree. He attained enlightenment under the shade of the Ashwatha tree and spent 4 weeks enjoying liberation under the Ashwatha, Ajapala, and Rajayatana trees. Everything is tree. Trees are completely attached. His life is very much related, full of trees and forests. So, in this way, you should understand Buddhism gave very much importance to the environmental ethics, and environment is very important. Pure environment. Buddha gave importance to pure environment, not in the towns and buildings and palaces. Nothing happened to him. All these things happened in the forest and under the trees that we are seeing now. And after achieving enlightenment, he sat under these trees, Ashwatha, Ajapala, and Rajayatana trees. Ultimately, Mahaparinirvana occurred under the Shala tree again. He was born under the Shala tree, and he His Mahaparinirvana means his death. We don't say death because we cannot use that word, inauspicious word for the great people. We say Mahaparinirvana, the great enlightenment. Mahasamadhi, you can say that. Mahaparinirvana occurred again under the Shala tree. In the Buddhist tradition, the 24 Buddhas attained enlightenment under the various trees. Not only Buddha, you see, Buddha is the 24th Buddha. Before him, there were 23 Buddhas for Deepankara Buddha and many other Buddhas. So they all got, because they also have life history. All this is described in Buddha Vamsa Pali, a text. So all these Buddhas have got enlightenment under the various trees, including the Ashwatha, Shala, Vata, Pundarika, Shirisha, Udumbara, Naga, Kadamba, various trees. And Buddha got enlightenment under the Ashwatha. That is called Bodhi Vriksha. People tree, normally we say. Ashwatha is very auspicious tree in our Indian culture. Not only Buddha, that is why he sat under the Ashwatha tree. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashwatha Sarva Vrikshanam. I am the Ashwatha among all trees. You can understand the importance of Ashwatha. That is very medicinal plant also. Every day you can just make a tea with the people leaf. That is very useful for the digestion. So from the Jataka stories, we learned that out of the 550 forms of the Bodhisattva, you see, Bodhisattva has taken birth many times. That is the story of Jataka. Jataka means Janma stories. Buddha reveals his past lives. That is Jataka. There are wonderful stories. They become very famous in society. But that is very much part of Pali Tripitakas. That comes in Sutta Pitaka. In Sutta Pitaka has 3 Pitakas, and Tripitakas are 3. One of them is Sutta Pitaka. Sutta Pitaka has 5 Nikayas, and one of the Nikayas is Kuddaka Nikaya. Kuddaka Nikaya is having 15 books. Jataka is one of the 15 books. So it's a part of Pali literature. But Jataka stories became very famous, like Panchatantra stories. So wherein Buddha describes his 550 forms of Bodhisattva he was born into, he appeared 43 among these 3, among the 550 forms. He appeared 43 times in the form of a tree deity. He appeared in the form of tree deity. The Tripitaka texts state that there are 6,400 species of the fish in Jambu Dvipa, 4,500 species of birds, and 2,400 species of the beasts. Additionally, there are 10,000 species of the trees, 8,000 species of grass, 740 types of medicinal herbs, and 43 types of aromatic plants. Dwadasha Viharana Sutra, it is described there. Green forests provide many essential resources for our survival. The Theri Gatha of the Kuddaka Nikaya in Pali literature is particularly unique in this respect. And Yajna, sacrifices, and the Buddha. Once the Buddha was traveling in the land of the Magadhans with a large Sangha of 500 mendicants. Mendicants means bhikshus. 500 bhikshus, always it happens. Buddha was not alone. When he was walking, 500 sometimes, 300 sometimes, 1100 sometimes, they were walking along with him. Many people became his disciples. They arrived at the village of Magadhan Brahmins called Kutadanta. When they were walking slowly in Magadha, and they reached one village, there Kutadanta Brahmana was the chief, very scholarly Brahmin was there, where the Buddha stayed nearly Ambalatika, near Ambaratika, nearby that is situated near the Ambalatika. At that time, a Brahmin named Kutadanta, that Kutadanta was living in Khanumata, nearby village Khanumata. This area was crown properly granted by the king Seniya Bimbisara to Magadha. Of the Bimbisara of Magadha, it was donated by Bimbisara, the king of Magadha, has donated this Khanumataka to Kutadanta. It was abundant with living creatures and filled with hay, wood, water, and grain. A royal park given to a Brahmin. That is so much wealthy and very prosperous. Khanumataka. During this period, Kutadanta had prepared he started a grand sacrifice. He had led 700 bulls. And for that yajna, it is very clearly mentioned in the Tripitaka. He was actually, these animals were taken to that yajna for the sacrifice. 700 bulls, bullocks, heifers, goats, and rams to the post for the sacrifice. He invited the Buddha to his yajna, and the Buddha agreed to conduct the sacrifices in a way that did not involve killing animals. It's a very big sutra, actually. Kutadanta, a very interesting sutra. He invites Buddha for the sacrifice. The Buddha says, no, I will not attend such sacrifices where animal killing is taking place. This is also environmental, because animals are very important part of our environment. Modern environmental sciences are saying birds are the part of our environment. So Buddha had a great concern on the animals. Buddha opposed it. He said that, no, I cannot come to take. He did not oppose yajnas. You should understand. He said very clearly, I do not attend such yajnas where killing is taking place. And later on, he says that your forefathers also were performing yajnas, which I accept, he says. They were without killings. So killing in the yajnas are condemned by many people. Even Swami Dayananda has condemned that. So entire Kutadanta Sutta I have given here. Evam me sutam yekam samayam bhagava magadhesu charikam charamano bahada bhikkhu sankena sabdhim panchamatti bhikkhu sati yena khanumatakam nama magadhanam brahmana gamo tadavasari tatra sudam bhagava khanumati viharat ambalattikaya. This is not needed. You see, if I read, you cannot understand. But he says that only that sentence I read. Clearly, Buddha says, is Raja ko Mahavijayo Mahayayam Yajati. Tasmin ko Brahmana yaye neva gavo hayensu, na ajelaka hayensu, na kukuta sukara hayensu, na vividha pana sanghatam apajinsu, na rukha chijimsu, yupathaya, na dabha luimsu, barihisathaya, parahimsathaya, yepissa ahesum, dasativa, pesativa, kammakarativa, tepi, na danda tajita, na bhayatajita, na asumukha. Very clear description is there. If you understand Pali, you can understand very clearly. Buddha says that yajna I like, because in that yajna, in your previous yajnas, cows were not killed, bulls were not killed, hens were not killed, pigs were not killed, goats were not killed. You see, like this, you see, trees were not destroyed for the sake of yajna. And darbhas also, Buddha is very much concerned, because he believed that life is there in the plants. Even in grass, he says, you should not even cut the grass for the sake of yajna. So that kind of yajna, I know that. I love such kind of yajna, he says. Very interesting, all these things. So the stress management through the bodhicitta, this is now new chapter actually. New means in the kind, very important in the contribution of Buddhism for the Indian knowledge systems. When you speak about that, this chapter is very, very interesting. Now, you should understand our ancestors' contribution to the mind. Our ancestors gave so much importance to the mind. Buddhism, there is an importance to the mind. This is the great, you see, study of the mind, understanding the greatness of the mind, the importance of the mind in human life is a great Indian knowledge tradition. You understand? This is preserved in, this is what the contribution of Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy to Indian knowledge systems. You see what happens is stress management through the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is great concept in Mahayana Buddhism. It needs one course, not one lecture. at least 6 months time is needed to explain what is bodhicitta for you. Study of mind in ancient India is very important. And what is bodhicitta? Prerequisites of bodhicitta, all this I have described in my slides. Study of mind in ancient India. In ancient India, is the great contribution of our ancient Indians that they studied the mind. They also studied the body through Ayurveda and many other physical sciences. But ultimately, they gave importance to mind. So what is mind actually? First, you should understand your feelings are the mind. Your emotions are the mind. See, there should be control to your feelings. That is what Patanjali Maharshi says in Yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Buddha says same thing. See, all our ancestors spoke about the same thing. The study of mind in ancient Indian literature could be considered as one of the most interesting subjects of investigation. Our ancestors gave enough attention to the study of mind. Mind can be our friend and our enemy. The World Health Organization, WHO, definition of mind, mental health integrates the physical and mental health into a holistic scheme. You see, our ancestors, mind can be our friend and our enemy. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandham mokshayo. So now coming to the present day, how we are understanding mind, the World Health Organization, WHO, they have given the health definition of the health. Definition of mental health integrates physical and mental health into a holistic scheme. So what is health? Human health. The integration of mental health and physical health. This WHO says like this. But this integration in definition has not yet been achieved sufficiently in teaching and clinical practices. They are saying that mental health also is very important, but it is not much integrated, because if it is integrated, they should go back to our ancient Indian education. Only there, mental health issues are described. Mental health issues are described in our ancient Buddhist literature. You see, chittam raksham prayatnata. One should protect the mind, because the wise mind, states of the mind. The wise mind and the states of the mind. You see, wise mind is a middle mind. You see, Buddha always says middle path. This is the Buddha's mind. You see, reasonable mind. Reasonable mind is a cool, rational, task-focused. Reasonable mind. Normally, many people have reasonable mind. It's a cool, rational, and task-focused. When in reasonable mind, you are ruled by facts, reasons, logic, and pragmatics, values, and feelings are not important. Feelings are not important. Values and feelings are not important there in this reasonable mind. What are important? You are ruled by facts and reasons, logics, and pragmatics. Many people having reasonable mind nowadays. Emotional mind, here lost. Emotion mind is the heart. Mood development. Emotion focused. When in emotion mind, you are ruled by your moods, just opposite to the reasonable mind. Ruled by your moods, feelings, and urges to do or say things. Facts, reasons, and logics are not important in this emotion mind. But wise mind is the wisdom within each person, seeing the value of both reason and emotion, bringing left brain and right brain together, the middle path. This is what actually wise mind. We should have the wise man, like Buddha. Significance of bodhicitta. It is essential to understand the significance of bodhicitta described in Mahayana Buddhism, and the practice of cultivation of mind in compassion. See, compassion is very difficult philosophy. It's very easy to tell, but it's very difficult philosophy. Because what what is needed for bodhicitta is a compassion, karuna. There is a strong argument that Christians have taken the mercy from Buddhism, compassion. Karuna. Buddha Ghosha praised Buddha in Sumangala Vilasani. Karuna Sihala Hadayam. That is Pali. Karuna Shitala Hridaya, Buddha. Buddha was having the cool mind because of his compassion. Buddha's mind was full of compassion. Karuna. लोगों के ऊपर इतना करुणा थी उनको. So this, as long as you do not have compassion on others, mercy on others, compassion on others, you cannot get the bodhicitta. It's very difficult philosophy. Only then can our minds achieve the level of bodhicitta. So, what is bodhicitta? Bodhicitta is a profound state in which wisdom and compassion arise naturally. Wisdom and compassion arise naturally. That is bodhicitta. That is like a wise mind, middle path. In practicing bodhicitta, you return to the original purity of your mind. Because Buddha says, Pabhassaramidam chittave, Pabhassaramidam bhikkave chittam, he says, Yamhi agantukehi upakkilesehi upakkilitham. Buddha says. Actually, your mind is not polluted originally. Originally, your original state of your mind is illumination, great and very pure. But it is polluted due to the external pollution. Remove it through meditation. Nothing happens. Your mind will be very pure again. So bodhicitta, in practicing bodhicitta, what happens? You return back to your original purity of your mind. That's a great bodhicitta. In this state, all concepts dissolve, allowing you to perceive things with a fresh, transparent clarity. Normally, we understand things, we ourselves make things very tough and difficult. So, when you sit in meditation, when your defilements, when pollutions go away, what happens? You will reach to your original state of the mind. And then what happens? It allows you perceiving the things with fresh and transparent clarity. Freshly, you have to think. If you think things freshly, you can take the fresh decision, good decisions. But it is very difficult in present day because most of the people's minds are very polluted, particularly educated people in the universities, university faculty. Minds are polluted, disturbed. It's very difficult to practice these things nowadays. Many times what happens, people educated because sakshara viparitaschet rakshasa eva kevala. If sakshara becomes perverted, he becomes rakshasa. So that is why what they will harm your mental peace first. They don't harm you physically, they harm your mental peace. So that is why it's very difficult nowadays. Very difficult for the people to be in the group of educators to practice the bodhicitta. So Buddha says all these verses in Bodhicharya Avatara. It's a wonderful text. Ratrau yatha megha ganandhakari vidyut kshanam darshayati prakasham buddhanubhavena tatha kadachit lokasya punyeshu matih kshanam syat. You see, you should try to do meritorious activities, merits, punya karma karna hai aapko. Buddha says, in Bodhicharya Avatara, Shantideva says like this. But to do meritorious activities, sometimes you think, sometimes very rarely you will get that good ambition. How? sometimes a lightning appears in the sky in the same way. With the grace of Buddha, sometimes you think to do good activities. That's what the meaning of this first verse. Ksanasampadiyam sudurlabha pratilabdha purushartha sadhani yadinatra vichintyate hitam punarapyesha samagama kuta. Ratro yatha mega ghanandhakari. Same verse repeated here because that is important. Bhavadukha shatani tartukamaihi api sattva vyasanani hartukamaihi bahusaukya shatani bhoktukamaihi navimocham hi sadaiva bodhichittam. This is why I am reading these verses, not to show my scholarship. You should understand how original Buddhism speaks about the mind and our Indian knowledge systems in Sanskrit. This is all Buddhist literature, not Sanskrit literature, but Buddhist Sanskrit literature. You should understand how Buddhist, our Indian knowledge traditions are preserved. That is why I am showing you, reading the verses directly. So, in last stanza, he says that one should not abandon the bodhicitta after developing. One should never abandon, because why? If you want to cross the ocean of the suffering, bodhicitta you have to adopt. If you want to cross the ocean of sufferings, you see, that is what. And if you want to cross the ocean of difficulties of the life, and at the same time, if you want to enjoy the pleasantness, happiness of the life, then the only way you should adopt the bodhicitta. That's the meaning of this verse. Bodhicitta, what is bodhicitta? Bodhicitta refers to a mind that is completely dedicated to the benefiting others. You see, that is very important. Others, striving for the full of enlightenment of all sentient beings. That is bodhicitta. If you think the welfare of others, if you help others, you see, you should not think for your job. Others should get job. You should not think your money. Others should get money. Only then you will develop bodhicitta. Is it possible in present day? That's why I said it's very difficult. You should wish that others should have own house. For me, okay, no problem. Others should have beautiful vehicle, big car. For me, it's okay. I will do something later. So if you think like that, that is called real compassion. And through that compassion, that means you already got the bodhicitta. If you are thinking like this, all your problems have gone. Such person, blood pressure, I told yesterday also, no, he will not get the sugar, no problem, he's always healthy. Because actually what is needed is, people think by mistake that money is needed. Actually what is needed is mental health. Mental peace is needed for your human life, for human beings, not the money. That is why somebody said that we pray to God many things, but God gives what we want, actually. He knows what we want. That's why he gives only that. So some professors think that, oh, I wanted to become Vice Chancellor, he will never become Vice Chancellor, because the problem is God knows that if you become Vice Chancellor, you are already disturbed, you will become more and more disturbed. Be professor and be happy, they say, and God says like that. So whatever we want, God gives only that. So bodhicitta is such actually contentedness, satisfaction. All this is bodhicitta, and bodhicitta is often described as the wish-fulfilling jewel, chintamani. If once you get the bodhicitta, that is like a chintamani. Chintamani means that wish-fulfilling jewel. In ancient times, there was a chintamani. If you get it, whatever you think, that will happen. So bodhicitta is the chintamani, wish-fulfilling jewel, because like a jewel, magical jewel, it brings a true happiness. Whatever you want, it will give to you. So such a great bodhicitta is such a great thing. And training the mind in bodhicitta helps dissolve the ego and allows you to see the world as it truly is. You see, the problem is ego is coming in between us. Ego. Due to ego, you are not perceiving things as it is. It is very difficult. I am also facing same problem. Everybody is facing same problem. We have ego. What is ego, you know? Ego is completely, it is in the nature. You should study Sankhya philosophy. You will understand what is ego. You cannot avoid it. It's very difficult. Ego means actually, your ego means actually mahat, ahankara. Ahankara. Ahankara means not ordinary ahankara. Not that. Proud person, not that. Means arrogant. That is not the original meaning of ahankara. According to sciences, that's not the correct meaning. Ahankara means ego. Ego consciousness. I am here. I am a professor. Like this, to think like this. It's a ahankara, ego. That is in the nature. You cannot avoid it. Because your body is formed of the nature. That's what Sankhya philosophy says. Very interesting. There's a striking similarity between Sankhya and Bauddha philosophies. This I presented in the United States of America. This presentation. So ego is very, very important, and you cannot avoid it. So due to this ego, sometimes this ego should be in control, you know. But due to ego problem, there's too much ego consciousness, but you cannot avoid it, unfortunately. But you should keep it in a balance. So bodhicitta can suppress it. That is why you should develop bodhicitta. But you do not develop the bodhicitta, the ego level increases. If it increases, you cannot see the world or worldly activities as it is. The true nature of the things you cannot understand. Somebody is asking you, why he is asking? Like that you think. Why he is asking, you should think with sattvic mind. But you are not thinking like this. The ego concept, everything you take negatively. By listening to the teachings of the Buddha, every day you should listen to the teachings of the Buddha, teachings of the Krishna. All these great people, your ancient Indian literature is full of such morality, ethics. By listening to the teachings of the Buddha, but now we are talking about the Mahayana Buddhism, that's why I say Buddha. Every day if you listen to the teachings of Buddha, you can effectively process your thoughts and emotions until they are no longer influencing you. Every day you are influencing. Every day every day you have to hear the teachings of the Buddha. That is very important. One day you are hearing, morning you are hearing, evening you forget again. So every day you should do this. So every day your ego will be in control and your bodhicitta will come up and your things will be balanced. By listening to the teachings of the Buddha, you can effectively process your thoughts and emotions until they are no longer influence you. Additionally, through the analytical meditation, again, you should do the meditation also. Through analytical meditation, you can exhaust the mind and realize that delusion is not real. By continuous meditation, you will understand that delusion is not the real. Because whatever you see, that is most of the things are delusion, maya, which is not correct, which is not the true. According to Yogacara Buddhism, this whole world is not real. It is like a dream. It is not real. World is not existing at all. It is like a dream. Whatever you are seeing, your university, your rooms, and your house, and everything it's not real. It is like a dream. Yogacara Buddhism says it is not at all existing. Now in quantum physics, I think scientists have reached this level. They are understanding this fact, the whole world is not real actually. And this Yogacara Buddhism and Madhyamika philosophy has great impact on the Vedanta of Shankaracharya particularly. And that is why he says, Jagan Mithya Brahma Satyam, he says. This realization can then be used to further purify your perception. So this is how very important things in Buddhism you can find. Prerequisites of Bodhicitta. What you need to achieve the Bodhicitta, your ego will make tremendous efforts. Always, it will not leave you. Your ego is not ordinary. It will make tremendous efforts to hold on to samsara. It will clinch you. It will attach you to the samsara, your ego. But if you recognize this, you should keep watch on your ego. If you recognize this and listen to the teachings of the great saints, you will find significant support in overcoming the difficulties or obstacles. By incorporating this realization and perspective into your everyday life, you will develop resilience, allowing nothing to disturb your inner peace. Your inner peace is very important. Nobody should disturb you. But you are allowing people to disturb it. Why you are allowing? Your ego will make tremendous efforts to hold on to samsara. As long as you hold on to samsara, you think it is real. Your enemies can disturb your mental peace, inner peace. Actually, your enemies are not disturbing you. Your ego is disturbing. You will develop resilience only after listening to the great teachings of the saints, great saints. This process further diminishes your ego when you are realizing ego and you are doing meditation, listening to the teachings of the great saints. What happens? This process further diminishes your ego and gives rise to the tranquility. When you reach this state, you are ready to begin the practice of the bodhicitta. Only then you will be able to practice the bodhicitta. As long as, first you see, to reach the state itself is very difficult. After that, you can practice the bodhicitta. All of a sudden, if you want to practice bodhicitta, it is very difficult.
Yes, CPT.
I think if time is over, I can stop. This bodhicitta, there are two kinds of levels of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, bodhi pranidhi bodhi prasthana chitta. It is very deep actually, again deeper into the bodhicitta. Aspirational mind, engaged mind. Aspirational bodhicitta is the wholehearted wish to overcome our emotional afflictions and delusions. That is bodhi pranidhi chitta. This aspirational bodhicitta is a wholehearted wish, aspiration to overcome our emotional afflictions and delusions. Aspiration. And engaged chitta, realizing our full potential in bringing all fellow beings to all enlightened state free from suffering. This is aspirational chitta one. Realizing our full potential. First, you should understand your potential, realizing your full potential in bringing all fellow beings to an enlightened state. Not only you, your fellow beings, you should bring to the state. Free from suffering. Everybody, you should try for the dukkha nirmochana of everybody. Not only you. That is aspirational bodhicitta. And engaged bodhicitta is different. Developing the wishing state does not involve a pledge. With the pledge state of bodhicitta, we promise to train in 5 actions and help us not to lose our determination. The first 4 trainings determine our bodhicitta aspiration and pledge not to decline during this lifetime. The 5th training of the determination is not to lose our intention in future lives. These are aspirational chitta. And Bodhi Pranati engaged Buddhism, engaged Bodhi, not Buddhism, engaged Bodhicitta means engaging in the practices and the behavior that brings about this goal by taking the Bodhisattva's vow to restrain from actions harmful to it. That is engaging bodhicitta. Engaged bodhicitta. You see, here I gave one picture, mindful or mindful. See, both are, it looks like same words, but both are different. Mindful or mindful. The first one is the mindful. Mindful. It's a mind full of the objects, your physical, worldly objects. Mind is full with the worldly things. So it is disturbing mind. It cannot be engaged in bodhicitta. Mindful is different. Mindful is completely nothing is there in your mind, it is full of peace. That's mindfulness. So in this way, I think you should understood how Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy is contributing to Indian knowledge systems. Thank you.
Now session is open for discussion. So I request participant to please ask question. Have any difficulty or doubt on any concept?
Sir,
Yes.
Yes, madam.
sir, myself Surina. Sir, this was an insightful lecture. Actually, we got a lot of spiritual traditions, spiritual insights, etc. It was really an enriching session, sir. I just want to ask a question. Sir, many of the Sanskrit texts are not accessible to layman. So, could you please suggest some texts about bodhicitta that could be maybe translations that can be.
Yeah. That I already quoted the book Bodhicharya Avatara. You can read that Bodhicharya Avatara. In English translation, it's available. I have a PDF also. If you can also get it online also. You can get it.
The name is Bodhicitta.
Bodhicharya Avatara.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And besides this book, directly don't go to Bodhicharya Avatara. First, you read about the Bodhicitta. There are several articles and books also, secondary books also. So wonderful descriptions are there. Several people have worked on these. But the problem is, you see, not working and doing research. Many people are doing, but this is something different, Practicing is something different. It's very, very tough. What happened, ancient Indian knowledge, when we are talking about the ancient Indian knowledge traditions and present day implementation, one very important point you had to note, all participants, our ancient Indians were same. Whatever they are talking, they were doing. Whatever they are thinking, they were talking. The present Indians, whatever they are thinking, they are not talking. Whatever they are talking, they are not doing. You see, this is the big difference has come now. You should understand this, our ancient India. If you go to the ancient Indian literature, you will understand the great difference that has spoiled actually our culture, our attitudes, our country also. Recently, I wrote a poem, Videsha Gamanam, in Sanskrit. And that's very interesting when it will be soon published. I described all these things, why the youth of India is living for the foreign countries. The big question I have raised. Why they are leaving? Why they are going to the West and why they are going to USA? There are several things, you just explore this question. So the difference is Manasanyat, Vachasanyat, Karmanyanyat Duratmana. Manasyeko, Vachasyeko, Karmanyeko, Mahatmana. Wicked people think something, talk something, do something. Three are different things, And Mahatmana, the good people, great people and good people, whatever they think, they speak same thing, and whatever they speak, they do same thing. You just try to understand what I am saying. You see, here is the difference. Big difference has come. So that is why the practice is very important. Even in Buddhist studies field, if you know some people, they became even professors also, and they became big researchers also. You see, if you see their activities, very funny and very pitiable state they are. How can Buddhist studies develop? So we had to do these things, very important things. Understand these things. Thank you.
सर तुम्ही म्हणले होते ना की काल की फॉर्म भरले 600 रुपये.
Do you have any other questions?
Ma'am, I have another question.
Yes.
Sir, you talked about Buddhist philosophy, and I just wanted to ask whether there is any relationship between Buddhist philosophy and the yoga traditions in India, or the yoga tradition is mentioned in Buddhist philosophy.
Complete relation. We have perfect relation. Both are same, actually. I say that both are same.
Sir, yoga also talks about body and mind, but in the previous lecture, in the yesterday's lecture, and also in the today's lecture, sir didn't mention much thing about the body. That's why I was asking this question. This body and soul connection.
Yoga does not mention about the body. First, you should know that. Patanjali Yoga does not speak much about the body. It speaks only, there is only one aphorism about the asana, Sthira Sukham Asanam. And later on in Hatha Yoga, all these asanas, Surya Namaskaras, all that developed in later period. So Patanjali did not prescribe any asanas and rigorous everyday vyayama. That is you will never find in Yoga Darshana. So Buddha also never speaks about the body much. Buddha speaks in different context body also, but in Bodhicitta, in the philosophy of Bodhicitta, body is very important. And the mind, mind is important. In the philosophy of Bodhicitta, mind again same important, like same in Yoga Darshan. And they spoke about the body in Hatha Yoga in our Vedic tradition. In Buddhist tradition also, they spoke about the body in later traditions. They also have Tantra. So both are same actually, not much different. As per yoga is concerned. Same. Little difference. You see, like Bodhicitta, the term you cannot find in Vedic philosophy, but in Yoga Darshana, you do not find it Bodhicitta. Bodhi, that you do not find. You see, but the same thing. Terms are different. Sometimes the explanations are different. But you cannot say same also, but little difference. Little difference is it's completely is the explanation of the mind is completely full of Buddhist philosophy. Compassion predominates here. Compassion is there in Yoga Darshana also. So you can say both are same, but with little differences.
Sir, what I found out from this lecture is that Buddhist philosophy speaks much about mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, Buddhist philosophy is very vast. One part of Buddhist philosophy talks about the mind. In the same way, Vedic philosophy also very vast. One fragment speaks about the mind. Same.
Thank you, sir.
Any question? Other participant?
Okay, no questions.
I think
Ma'am, with your permission, should I proceed for vote of thanks?
if you
Yes,
to make a script of
yes.
video of the participants, then you will understand who is carefully listening to or who is not.
Yeah. You can please
If you are
on your
not,
videos, everybody.
if you do not make it compulsory,
Yeah.
it is not guaranteed that they are just in front of
Listen, yes.
computer, or they
Yesterday
have
we
gone to even market also.
yeah we had a meeting, sir, in this matter. So I'm thinking of,
Because
doing the same,
because sometimes
just
it is
open your.
surprising.
Anyways, everybody. Yes,
Every-
yes, sir.
please, yeah.
Everybody, please on your videos. So now they have on the video.
Yeah, very good. Only some people, those who are fortunately near to the computers, have opened their videos, and the rest, I
Yes.
think, are coming very fast.
Yeah.
It's okay, no problem. And because I cannot say, open your video. Nowadays, difficult, various kinds of difficulties we have. But our intention is, you can say that.
Yes. Others also, please on your videos. Yes.
After listening to such a profound lecture, please don't think otherwise. I'm a very friendly person. You can feel very friendly, and you can speak anything to me, no problem for me. So I'm just, as a matter of, it's ultimately it's a program. It's a program with a great ambition of our Indian education system now. In that aspect, I'm talking. After listening to the
Yes.
such great, profound philosophical lecture, if you do not have questions, it looks so very, and also you are not great scholars of Buddhist studies or Sanskrit or anything like that. You are all, I think, belonging to different branches. And if you do not have any question, it means that it means very strange. It means great message is coming from our citizens. What will be
Sir,
the future of our Indian knowledge
yes.
systems?
Sir, I have a question for you. Like we are having this International Center for Buddhist Tourism. So we are promoting Buddhist tourism. So in that, I have a question, though I was not there for the lecture, today's lecture, I was giving my own lecture to my students. I
Oh.
wanted to know about the performing arts, sir, in Buddhism.
Yeah, performing arts, actually, what happens is, performing arts are there in modern Buddhism, in
Okay.
Tibetan Buddhism, in Chinese Buddhism, and also in some countries. You see, in very ancient time, if you search the performing arts, Buddha prohibited that. You see,
Okay.
very tough. Buddha, one of the prohibitions is dance, songs. You see, that's why I always say Buddha's vision was something different. Very, very philosophical he was. You cannot connect to him to the society. In Ashtashila, Dashashila, he prohibited songs, even garlands, everything, because he's complete. You see, that is real Vairagya. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, if you want to learn the real Vairagya, dispassion, you learn from Buddha, he says. So, but later times, when Buddhism you see, from 3rd century, Buddhism went out from to Sri Lanka and many places, Suvarnadvipa and Indonesia, and many places, due to King Ashoka. And when it started growing in those countries and Buddhist tradition, even in our country, Ladakh also, you can Himachal Pradesh, we have several ceremonies, dances developed. They are also not modern. They are also very ancient. You can take those Buddhist, what you say that modern, what you ask that tradition, dance arts, performing arts.
Performing arts.
You can take from these traditions. So there are performing arts. Yeah, many performing.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Your lecture was really very insightful, and we are very happy to have you over
But
here.
unfortunately,
Hello,
you are
sir.
not
Hello,
there. You yourself told you are not there in today's lecture.
sir. Sir, I
Just
have
wait.
one
Just
question.
wait, please. I'm talking to Madhuri ji.
Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately,
Please, sir.
Madhuri ji, you are not there. You said that you are not there in present day lecture. Present day lecture was, I think, it was very interesting. If those who have,
Yeah, I will go through the YouTube, sir, in the evening. Today I had my lecture for my students, so
please go through
unfortunately
that
I.
because
Yes,
very
definitely,
essential,
sir. I'm very much
very essential
interested.
things like hope. Okay, now please ask. Somebody was asking.
Yeah, please. Roll number 30. Please
Yes.
ask.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. I am Bhakti Patil from Kolhapur University. Somewhere in online platform, I heard about that if Buddha's mother was silent, म्हणजे, can I ask in Hindi?
You are Sanskrit
Of course.
faculty?
Yes.
Are you Sanskrit faculty? What you said?
No. I am political science faculty.
Political science. Okay.
हाँ, but
हिंदी में
I am a new
पूछिए.
mom, and we are in online platform. I think Instagram. I heard a debate. if बुद्धा की मदर जो साइलेंट होती तो बुद्धा घर छोड़ के नहीं जाती. इज दिस एक करेक्ट है क्या? मुझे थोड़ा सा अलग लगा ये डिबेट थोड़ा सा अलग लगा. इसलिए मुझे ये पूछना था, क्या एवरी मदर कैन बी अ बुद्धा?
नहीं, मतलब बुद्धा, भगवान बुद्ध की माता जी साइलेंट थी या?
नहीं, उनका कहने का आशय ऐसा था कि जब बुद्धा की मदर वो साइलेंट होना या शांत रहती तो बुद्धा घर छोड़ के नहीं जाते थे. मुझे थोड़ा सा अच्छा नहीं लगा इनका वो डिबेट जो था, इसलिए मुझे क्वेश्चन पूछना था. ये
देखिए,
करेक्ट?
रूल नंबर 30, आपका नाम मैं नहीं जानता हूँ.
हाँ.
आप एक फैकल्टी, यूनिवर्सिटी फैकल्टी है. इस प्रकार के जो सिली थिंग्स आप
हाँ,
शो,
मुझे वो बहुत बुरा लगा. एक्चुअली मैं भी न्यू मॉम हूँ. सडनली
आपको
कभी
कैसे
मैं
बुरा
बहुत
लगा?
गुस्सा होती
आपको
हूँ,
पढ़ते ही
इसलिए.
आपको सोचना चाहिए. यूनिवर्सिटी फैकल्टी हो गए आप, इस प्रकार ये स्टूपिड राइटिंग्स हैं. ये कोई कहने की बात है? बुद्धास मदर व साइलेंट, ये क्या है? कोई मूर्ख आदमी लिखा है. यहाँ चर्चा आपको करना ही गलत है उस प्रकार की बातों.
नहीं सर, वैसा नहीं है. मुझे यही
वो
पूछ.
स्टूपिड एक्टिविटी राइटिंग है जी. मेरा कहने का मतलब ये नहीं. चलिए, आप पूछे हैं, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ, भगवान बुद्ध का मदर और भगवान बुद्ध का इस प्रकार का महाविनिष्क्रमण, ये कोई मूर्ख आदमी लिखा होगा तो उसको छोड़ दीजिए. ये सब प्रश्न हम पूछना भी नहीं चाहिए, उसका हम एक्सप्लेनेशन भी नहीं करना चाहिए. वो कोई सिली थिंग है. ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं. भगवान बुद्ध की माता जी, देखो, पहले बार तो भगवान बुद्ध की माता जी नहीं थी. उस मूर्ख को पता ही नहीं है. उसको महादेवी, महामाया जो है ना, शी हैज ग्रोन हिम, है ना. तो वो तो उनको जानना चाहिए. और बुद्धा मतलब साइलेंट थी, मतलब वो चिल्ला रही थी क्या? क्या एक्चुअली लिखना चाह रहा है वो ऐसा? दिस इज स्टूपिड थिंग. उस विषय में क्या आप
Don't believe in the online media, It is better you read some good books. And good you are attending this lecture, no, from sir. So
एक्चुअली
never believe.
आप आई एम श्योर दैट आप लगता है आप मेरे लेक्चर आज पूरा नहीं सुने.
एक्चुअली मेरा छोटा बच्चा एडमिट था तो थोड़ा सा मिस हो गया. इसलिए वो कल से मैं थोड़ा पूछना चाहती थी, लेकिन टाइम नहीं मिला. वो थोड़ा
देखिए,
बीमार
मेरा
है.
लेक्चर आज यदि सुनते, आपको
नहीं,
समझ में
आज
आता
मैं
बुद्धिज्म
यूट्यूब पे
है क्या है
सुनती.
वास्तव में, कितना गंभीर हो.
Please go through YouTube, okay? In
यस
the
यस,
evening.
श्योर मैम, श्योर मैम.
Because you
Next.
are going exams also. So you
चलिए
really
कोई
know
दूसरा पूछना चाह रहे
about
तो
all the
पूछिए, फिर
lectures.
पूछिए। अब ये कोई सुने ही नहीं तो ऐसा मत पूछिए, सुनने वाले ही पूछिए। कोई सुने तो अच्छी तरह से पूछे तो थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है। अब ऑल ऑफ ए सडन आप कुछ इरेलेवेंट प्रश्न पूछे तो और भी फनी लग जाता है। तो चलिए।
Hello.
हाँ जी।
Very good afternoon, one and all.
Okay, so
I
are you
propose
giving the
here
vote
vote
of
of thanks.
thanks? Okay,
Lecture.
please go ahead.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. I propose here vote of thanks on behalf of UGC HR, UGC MEMTTC, TLC, Teaching Learning Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Professor C. Upendra Rao deliver a very outstanding, lucid, and very informative lecture uh, on the topic of perspective of Buddhist study in Indian knowledge system. Now, how the Buddhist Buddhist study contributing in Indian knowledge system, which include sculpture, painting, music, dance, drama, architecture, and various part of the of our routine life. Then also Professor Rao also talk about the different type of lipis is there. Next one in his lecture, Professor Rao deliver the concept of Bharat Varsha, means which includes Nepal. Nepal is also part of Bharat. Like the Panini born in Pakistan, but which are also part of the Bharat Varsha. Next one is the Buddha. Uh, Buddha opposed to animal killing also and even the plant also. So Buddha support for the yajnas, but those yajna which did not have any part of the plant and the part of the animal. Now, study of mind in ancient India done by Buddha and other people contributing in this. Study of mind in ancient India, Indian literature, contribute by the Buddhas. WHO also now focused on the physical and mental health. So, which I just conclude here, the holistic development of both physical and mental health. Now, there is a three types of mind: reasonable minds, wise minds, and emotional minds. And his last part of lecture of Professor Rao is talked about the bodhicittas. Especially, I just glimpse here because I like this part. Return to the original purity is like born baby. So mind gets nowadays in every in the society, the people's mind get polluted due to ego. Apart from this, so sir very nicely explained the concept of bodhicitta and think about the well-beingness, but not just removing ego, removing negative energy, and think about the well-beingness of others. That is the concept of bodhicitta. Ahankar, who I am, forget the things, and this is the concept of bodhicitta. Now the bodhicitta also that is controlling ego is also part of the bodhicitta. So now with this very short but sweet vote of thanks. So sir deliver very outstanding lecture. So on behalf of the UGC MMTTC, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, course coordinator Professor Madhuri Samant Madam, Dr. Rafe coordinator and assistant director, Dr. Gaurav sir, and all the supporting staff of the university. I propose here to thank you very much, Professor Rao, for giving us time also by accepting the invitation of the Dr. Samant Madam also, and also thanks to the Madam, you invite such kind of the international great personality. In short, Professor Rao, highly esteemed, dynamic, productive researcher with outstanding expertise in Indian knowledge system. Sanskrit includes Pali and other traditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
I'm very happy that you have perfectly, again, like yesterday, you have noted things very well.
No, so this direction is given by the madam and Gaurav sir.
Maybe I think your Devidas, your Devidas Bhagat or who?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Maybe I
I'm
think
Bhagat.
because I think you maybe you are working in forensic. You said something forensic department, yeah?
Yes, yes, Forensic Science Institute.
Yeah, that is the. I think that is why you have perfectly noted that, because the forensic is
Yes.
investigation. That's why you had that quality. Everybody should have that quality. So thank you very
Yes.
much, Devidas.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, doctor. Good morning, good morning. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so participants, just hold on. We are already having our resource person over here, Professor Dr. Sampath Kumar Swain, who is giving the introduction.
Yes, roll number 5.
Madam,
Madam,
on
please
your
continue
video.
the introduction.
Namaskar, sir. कैसे हो सर आप? संपत sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, may I start?
Yes, yes. Just a moment. He's talking. He's talking to somebody. I'll just call and confirm, and then we will start.
Okay.
Yes, please start. Sir is there. Sir,
Madam,
namaskar, sir.
actually, there is a small echo, but now it's fine. Madam, please continue.
Okay, okay. Yes, please continue with the introduction.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sampath Kumar Swain, working as an assistant professor at Department of Tourism Studies, Pondicherry University, has obtained all his degrees, graduation, PG, PhD, and DLET from Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. He has been trained in the faculty development program conducted by the Indian Institute Management, Indore. He served the IGNTU Amarkantak MP as professor with additional academic and administrative responsibilities, such as head tourism management, dean commerce and management, director planning and development, register, IQAC director, NAC coordinator, etc. From 2012 to 2018. His significant contribution to IGNTU during his include the preparation and implementation of an administrative manual submission of a self-study report to NAC, Bangalore, coordination of NAC peer team visit in 2016, coordination of an internal and external academic administration audit in 2017, MOU between IGNTU and IITTM in 2015. In the lead at a team to equip the mega mess with modern kitchen in 2016. For Swain published 4 dozen research paper, 2 edited book and 1 reference book. More than 10 imperial research paper got published in Scopus Index Journal. Professor Swain has co-authored a book titled Tourism Principle and Practice, published by OUP. Professor Swain acted as an expert member of AICTE, UGC, ICSSR, NAC, NBA, etc. He has retained
expert service as a member of school board of IGNU, NEHU, and Sikkim University. Presently, he has chairman of task force constituted by AICTE from developing a module course curriculum in tourism management at UG and PG level. He has member of the board of studies of tourism at BHU Varanasi, Madurai University, and Chandigarh University. His area of research interests include sustainable tourism, ecotourism, responsible tourism, community-based tourism, destination image, and social tourism. I end my introduction of Dr. Sampath Kumar. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is
May
sir
I know your
Aruna
name?
Pote.
Huh?
Aruna Pote. Aruna Pote.
Aruna. Okay. So, Madam Aruna, thank you very much for giving me a detailed introduction and
Other participants, can you hear, sir?
No, ma'am, we can't hear.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
there is a technical issue. Let me call him. Yes, just a moment. He has some technical issue. He'll be joining in few seconds.
okay. May I know who are the participants?
So the participants are from Pan India. They are from the subjects like chemistry, botany, environmental sciences, history, education.
Excellent.
Then some are from tourism as well,
Excellent.
and then forensic sciences.
Okay.
And Yeah,
That is,
it
they
is
are
like,
from multidiscipline.
yeah, multidisciplinary
Yes,
subjects.
yes. So, because if I know about them, it becomes easy for me to
Yeah,
address
some
them.
are from English department, some are
Yes.
education
Yes,
department.
yes,
So
yes.
they are mixed groups, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a minute. I'll share my PPT first.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Madam Professor Madhuri Sawant, who's the host of the program and a very well-known researcher and a distinguished scholar in the subject of tourism. And my dear participants from across the discipline, from across the country. And the title on which I'm going to address all of you is very heartening. And this is being discussed, debated, deliberated in the present time across the institutions, across the policy making bodies, because the idea of the debate and discussion is to revive and preserve and promote Indian knowledge systems. So I thought of linking Indian knowledge system with sustainable tourism development. Being a professor of tourism, being a researcher of tourism, I thought let me integrate the richness and nuances of Indian knowledge system and how do Indian knowledge systems influence the principles of sustainable tourism development. Let me give you a very brief introduction, about 5 minutes. How are they associated and related naturally? As all of you know, India is a country of 5,000 years civilization, started from Indus Valley, civilization which flourished in two beautiful cities called Mohenjo-daro and Harappa in the bank of the Indus River. And there were many other contemporary civilizations of the Indus Valley civilization in the world. And we have the recorded historical development, cultural enrichment through the historical development in the country. What you see, the map of India today was not the map of India 5,000 years ago, means 2700 BC to 1500 BC, before the Vedic period started. I do understand participants are from sciences, fundamental social sciences, but primarily Indian knowledge system is rooted with, is associated close with all the disciplines, all the lives of the people. Whether a student of political science or economics or chemistry, physics, knowledge of the subject or the theory of the subject are deep rooted with Indian knowledge systems. Because why India has become a country of Indian knowledge systems, the idea behind is, we have proved many of the impossible discoveries. We could be able to accomplish many of the impossible discoveries during our ancient time, that I'll explain you. primarily, as all of you know, tourism is nothing but is a social science, is a subject, is a business, is an approach which is connected to the real life of the people, like food, shelter, clothing, basic needs, basic physiological needs. Travel is also is a part of the basic need, without which an individual cannot get without which an individual cannot get uh, peace of mind, or without which one cannot understand the meaning of the life. So travel is an integral part of the life for which people travel from their place of domicile to the place of the destination, place of choice, to recreate, rejuvenate, reinvigorate, and recharge, recreate, and come back home with the positive vibe, positive energy, so that they will be more productive. And as all of you know, tourism is used as a weapon for peace, harmony, national integration, regional cooperation, and it is being used as a tool for diplomatic relationship between and among the countries. People to people contact can be possible through tourism. So this is the way the global tourism is growing, and more than half of the population of the world is traveling, and the contribution of tourism to the global GDP is close to 9%, and tourism has an influential role in the global economy, global politics, global ecology, and environment. So, because tourism is such a business which cannot be ignored or avoided, whether it is being a developed country or developing third world or least developed countries, it is an economic model through which the country can accelerate the pace of economic development, and tourism has proven it. The idea is not that, because any form of development which has the other side of the stories, that is mostly the negative aspects, because no society, no country, no place can afford to have a sector which will cause irreparable damage to the ecology and environment, or the sustainability, or the social practices, cultural practices. So tourism is such a business or sector and industry. If it is not properly controlled, regulated, with ethical practices, perhaps what I understand is we may lose the very basic uh, resources of the place. We may lose the identity of the place, and the identity of the place will be lost forever. There are many such destinations which have lost the credibility, originality, authenticity, because tourism is promoted in an unplanned, uncontrolled, and unsustainable manner. Therefore, this idea of a sustainable tourism development came is about, I may say 45 or close to 80s. The first Rio de Janeiro summit. So, because why I'm trying to give you a small background of the sustainable tourism development, because many of the aspects, many of the dimensions, many of the principles are uh, self-guiding for policymakers and planners to plan the destination so that destination will not be unsustainable. Because the idea is, if a particular destination is promoted without practicing the local or regional ethos or values, perhaps the destination will not last long. That is the idea, because Indian knowledge system does not teach about yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, Unani, or solar system, because it encompasses everything in the encyclopedia. When the whole world was silent, when the whole world was barbaric, when the whole world was uncivilized, and people were ignorant of everything. They did not know about the life. They were leading a nomadic and the life of a life of a nomad in the village, the forest. That time, India or Bharat, which was flourishing country and which has a long tradition of the real knowledge. So knowledge about the universe, knowledge about the river, knowledge about the everything, all put together. So therefore, the idea is, can we redefine sustainable tourism development approaches by applying rudimentaries or guiding principles of Indian knowledge systems? If, for example, destination development agencies or destination development planners, whether hotels or resorts or airline, mostly because those who are using the resources for providing the best possible satisfaction to the tourist. So can they be able to preserve the resources or use the resources economically, use the resources judiciously, so that the destination can last long, which are all rooted in Indian knowledge systems. Am I right? We are talking about solar power, we are talking about wind power, we are talking about renewable energy, we are talking about reuse, we are talking about many other present principles of sustainable tourism, which were clearly stated in Indian knowledge systems. So, because as all of you know, let me.
Slide change में हुई थी.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the Indian knowledge system, as all of you know, is primarily based on Jnana, knowledge, Vijnana, science, and Jivana Darshana, philosophy of life. So, because Indian knowledge system has three cardinal parts: knowledge creation, knowledge certification, knowledge dissemination, and knowledge, because every knowledge is proved. Because when a knowledge is invented or knowledge is created, it has been created with proof. So then the sciences, then you have philosophy of the life. Clear? So, because if you come to Indian knowledge system, as all of you know, because this is broadly, if you look at this particular slide, because we have a long history of tradition of health and wellness, which tourism has taken the advantage of, India being the creator of the health and wellness practices, that is we call the alternative medicines, because India is a country, or India is an ultimate destination in the world, that many other destinations in the world, they have copied from India. They have emulated the practice of India of making tourists stay longer, or making the tourists stay with the value, or that's health and wellness, because India is a destination for medical tourism, India is a destination for wellness tourism, because medical tourism is for treatment, wellness tourism is for recreation, rejuvenation, and reinvigoration, because that is called the fitness. That is called treatment, and this is for fitness. And if you come back to the traditional knowledge in mathematics, because India had invented the zero, because which are not directly related to tourism. Actually, let me tell you about consciousness studies. We have too many studies related to the divine knowledge, divine power, divine concentration, etc., astronomy, Aryabhata, Aryan, ancient structures and design. We have great tradition of the Silpa Shastra and preserving art and culture and tradition, traditional medicine, yoga, and Ayurveda. So then, uh, there are five fundamental elements we call the Pancha Mahabhutas in Ayurveda and Yogic traditions. Because majority of the tourists, those who come to India, or because by the by, for your information, dear participants, India is a great destination for holding the tourists for more than 3 weeks. Many of you might not be knowing about India's worthiness, India's credibility, India's greatness, highness, in terms of making tourists stay more than 21 days. No country, no destination in the world which can detain the tourist or make the tourist stay more than 3 weeks, because India is a destination for long haul stay. So when a tourist feels to stay longer, because tourists never stay longer just for staying longer, no, because every day, every moment, as a consumer, as a customer, he or she considers each moment must be rewarding. Each movement must give me the value for money, wow, or worth of staying. So that means if a country has the power of for the mm, distinction for making tourists stay more than 3 weeks for what? For experiencing it. So therefore, what they experience now. You take the example of we have great destinations in India, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and many other places. You take the example of we have a place 100 kilometers from Pondicherry. Name is Tiruvannamalai. The place is known for Raman Maharshi. Many other such are Puducherry, where I'm addressing you, is a place for spiritualism, rishis, place of spiritualism. So tourists come there just to experience the five fundamental elements. So when many other alternative medicine practices, that's called wellness. So sometimes they are being commercialized. So tourist product to provide experiences. So it has to have some commercial model, profit model, or sustainable model. So therefore, then if you come to who are the real creator of the knowledge, because all of you must be knowing it, because we always take, today we are trying to say Vishwaguru, because we try to become Vishwaguru, or we try to become the leader of the world, or the preacher of the world, or teacher of the world. We try to see, we used to be the leader of the world. We used to disseminate knowledge. We used to create knowledge. We used to provide many solutions to the world in all the fields, universal solutions. So therefore, over the years, we have lost the greatness that our ancestors created. You take their names because they are not the individuals; they are the institutions. Aryabhata, astronomy, mathematics, Brahmagupta, mathematics, yes, zero concept, Charaka, Sushruta, Ayurvedic medicines, Kannada, atom theory, Nagarjuna, metallurgy, Patanjali, yoga, medicine, Patanjali grammar, which is very famous, 3,900. Even today, the computer coding cannot do that much coding done by Patanjali, 3,907 coding, something like syntax. So Susruta, plastic surgery and medicine, Barahamira, astronomy, astrology, Bhaskaracharya, mathematics and calculus, and Vidhyayana, geometry and algebra, because every problem in the world is rooted with mathematics, equations, because the distance measurement from the place, time and space. So because you see, these are the background, these are the resources for tourism promotion. Let me tell you, because we may not be able to identify where the actually the ancient places, the Vedic period, Rig Veda, Yajur, Sham, Athar, mostly as you know the part of the northern part of India, all those inventions which would take place. So because if you come to Indian knowledge system offers ancient wisdom and practices. Mostly I'm narrowing down to Ayurveda and yoga for sustainable living. Because I mentioned a little while ago about tourists staying a longer duration in India, not for sightseeing, not for activity-based tourism, but for experiencing tourism, because we have sightseeing-based, activity-based, and experience-based. Activity-based mostly, but experience-based, they themselves want to experience it. Activity, they participate. Sometimes they may not experience it, but sometimes they themselves will experience the light of the power when they do yoga, especially for a course about 2 months, 3 months, and rectifying their malfunctioning of the metabolism, correcting themselves before going home, and which they must have spent too much of their income or savings towards correcting their system through allopathic, mostly the modern medicines. So modern medicines we call the modern drugs. So that because these drugs have their negative impacts in the metabolism. So yoga, as you know, India has taken the lead of yoga, of not celebrating International Yoga on 21st June, but India receives the highest number of tourists in the world for yoga tour. Mostly, we have destination, almost all, every places there, but or mostly Pondicherry receives highest number of yoga, Tiruvannamalai, Kerala also receives good number of, especially the Rishikesh, mostly Himalayan states, Himalaya, Rishikesh, Haridwar, Deprayag, people go to Badrinath, go to Kedarnath. So these are the places they go and do yoga, meditation, and everything. But Ayurveda, which let me tell you frankly, Kerala, the God's own country, as their tagline, has taken the advantage of applying Ayurveda for not only for diagnosing the chronic deadly diseases, but also recovering the patients or tourists completely through the Ayurvedic principles of treatment. So the Indian knowledge promotes a holistic approach to life, emphasizing interconnectedness, ecological harmony. These are all the principles of sustainable development. What sustainable development states about that, the need of the present generation and the need of the future generation must be protected. What the present generation enjoys, the clean air, clean water, or clean environment, what the future generation should enjoy without compromising the ability of their enjoyment. Because why they will be unfortunate to unfortunate human being or children to be born in a place where they will get they will inhale carbon dioxide, and they will invite too many problems to the metabolism. Do we want to lead a society with full of contaminations and pollutions that will make individual, because we want a healthy society. Actually, we want healthy manpower, healthy society, so that for sustainable development generally, but sustainable tourism development talks about what the experienced tourist gets. They should get, the future tourists also should get the same experiences. So therefore, because most of the time when the tourists come there, when my great grandfather visited Taj Mahal, it was something different. So certainly there will be changes, because change is inevitable, change is unavoidable, change is spontaneous, and change is unstoppable. And change, if you take it positively, it is always for the development. So that might not be proper road, or that might not be proper sanitation, hygiene, but they could have seen a particular monument from a different perspective. Today, the tourist needs different approaches. So therefore, we want a holistic approach to the life, emphasizing interconnectedness. So what do we want exactly? We want Indian knowledge systems to help us in, for example, you take the example of hotels or resorts, or we have different types of resorts. We have golf resorts, we have village resorts, we have lake resorts, we have beach resorts, mountain resorts, hill resorts. All right. So now tourists want to go to such resorts to have a holistic approach. So therefore, ecological harmony, because any development, tourism is a form of development. I request those who are talking.
Roll number 2, please mute yourself.
Please mute your mic.
Roll number 2.
Yeah, please mute your mic.
So please continue.
So therefore, what exactly development should be connected with the ecological settings, ecological resources. No development must go as against the ecological resources or ecological or environmental strength of the place, mostly, because no development should be allowed as against the availability of the resources of the place. So therefore, there is a close link between what Indian knowledge system aims at and what sustainable tourism aims at, because there is a close harmony between them. Indian knowledge system talks about a holistic approach to life, holistic approach to the practices of anything, because holistic means all all round developments. So the Indian knowledge provides a foundation for addressing modern environmental challenges, building sustainable communities. Because what are the modern environmental challenges today? Because today we experience the cloudburst, Dharali, whether it's Dharali or it is Samba or it is Shopur or it is Uttarakhand, Chamoli, any other place, or the tsunami or landslides. So natural calamities are now the parts of the life of the people living in that areas, because they are getting the brunt of the development in the urban areas. So therefore, there are many such environmental challenges with regard to the pollutions or contamination caused due to massive development of the construction of the roads, dams, etc., etc. But what I'm trying to present to all of you, because we may not stop the development, we may continue to the development. Can we evolve the strategy in the line of the Indian knowledge system, so that that particular form of the development will not make any hazardous or any adverse impact on the ecology and environment? The ecosystem can be maintained and food cycle can be maintained, and tourism can contribute to the food cycle and food chain, or so that ecosystem can function forever. So system should not get stopped. So then we can create a sustainable communities, a community which will continue to live long community which will live happily, community which will work in, will live in the lap of the nature. So key principles of Indian knowledge system for sustainable living, because that we try to give emphasis here. Holistic and ecological approach, a sense of responsibility, coexistence with the environment by viewing humans as essential components of nature rather than are distinct entities. Because Indian knowledge system speaks about that there must be close harmony between the man and animal, man and nature, because nature cannot survive without the man, or man cannot survive without nature. So therefore, all of you must be knowing about, let me give a best example of ecotourism, which was introduced in India in 2002 with the declaration of the International Year of Ecotourism by UNWTO, and as a part of Millennium Development Goals, United Nations also celebrated ecotourism and mountaineering in 2002 for two reasons. First, one is the 50 years of the completion of the Everest, scaling of the Everest mountain by Edmund Hillary in 2002 and Tenzing Norgay. Second one is, that was the beginning of the new millennium, and tourism is a development model which easily destroys, disturbs, distorts the ecology and environment. If it is not planned, it happens every places, because I'll give many examples of the hill stations today. So in this connection, man and nature, there must be coexistence, because they have to live together at a place. So that is the part of the key principles of Indian knowledge system for sustainable living, so that they can get better quality water, quality air, and they should also try to be satisfied with what is available around them. So as an essential component of nature rather than a distinct entities, because they are not distinct, they are the creators, they have been created by the nature. They have to live with the nature, because let me give an example. Now, the majority of the urban dwellers or urban inhabitants are suffering from many diseases, chronic diseases, such as diabetes, blood pressure, many other metabolisms. Whereas if the villages, remote villages, now development has gone into the villages nearby the urban areas, but I'm talking about remote villages, tribal areas and others. You would hardly seldom find an individual suffering from such diseases in urban areas. That means what is happening? That actually the natural way of living, which is rare to see in the urban areas, but that we can see in the rural areas, mostly in the remote areas. So therefore, what does it explain? It explains clearly that man is not a part of the holistic and ecological approach. Man can be a beneficiary, man can be a contributor, and can provide solutions to the holistic approaches. So tourism, let me give the example of ecotourism places. Many places in India, almost all wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in India, which are created after 72 Environmental Act and Wildlife Act, which led to creating national parks, biosphere reserves, Project Tigers, Project Elephant, Project Hungul, many such projects, no? Project Black Box. The idea is that, we need to protect both the man and animal together, because mostly animals should not get into the human zone or habitation zone. Man also should not get into. Can we find a way out? So that interconnectedness, as you know, we need to get connected with the whole global sustainable initiative. The idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, how interrelated all life is, because life is all connected with our root, because we get everything from the nature, we get everything from the culture. These are the two prominent components of the Indian knowledge system or Indian value system, because we get everything from nature, we get everything from the culture. So therefore, we need to get connected with the whole world. And what we do, the idea of the interconnectedness is that we may be extremely conscious and responsible. We may no, you will be very, will be um, radical towards the ecology and environment. We may not do any harm to nature, everything. But our neighbors, when they do any, when they cause such damages, mostly it affects the ecological fabric of the place, and because there is no boundary as such, physical boundary to prevent such pollutions from entering to another area. So it is a borderless problem. So therefore, the world is one family when we consider. So therefore, many such example I can give. You take the example of now carbon trading, carbon neutralizations. All industrial countries in the world, they try to compensate the carbon dioxides by funding the third world countries for planting trees, recharging water, too many other sustainable approaches. So this is the way we need to look at that exactly the Indian Knowledge talks about. The world is one family, and all can join together and address the issue of the environmental pollution, sustainability, whether it is tourism or other. Or can we have a sustainable living? That means we need to, many of the, for example, let me tell you, we have almost lost many indigenous crops, means seeds, whether it is a paddy seeds or many of the, now because of the growing population, to address growing population, and we have the green revolution, white revolution, because the evolution has brought food surplus, but at the cost of preserving our indigenous seeds, our indigenous plants. So therefore, this particular Indian knowledge system is going to revive the interconnectedness or the global approach towards the issues. The issue of India is not the issue of India. It is not limited to India. It is, maybe this issue is only restricted to the geographical boundary of a country, but it may spill over to some other countries. It may spread to some other countries. What happened to COVID-19? Similarly, traditional ecological knowledge, as you know, intimate understanding of plants, soil, climate, seasons, is a part of diversity, sustainable resource management, little waste, all the intimate understanding of plants. Because the present, see, the idea of the experiential tourism or activities-based tourism is to take the tourists to farmhouses, take the tourists to biosphere reserve, and conduct a tour with expert to take them to around the forest to show them the tree and the history of the tree, the background of the tree. Because there is a place at Nilembur in Kerala, they conduct the tour for the sal trees. So very interesting. It is a day-long tour. As you know, the background of the tourism is to make the tourists to get engaged, get involved. It must be an engaging tour. So if they're engaged, they will not feel bored. They will try to find interesting out of their engagements, so that they stay longer and they feel that no, these are the places where we have chosen is best. So therefore, what an intimate understanding of plants, soil. You take the example of Jagi Basudev, ISA Foundation in Coimbatore, who is the great Arsi, great soul, great sage, who is spreading the message of safe soil all over the world. He rode his bike and reached many parts of the Europe, for the message to reach to the people that save the soil, because soil erosion and the change of the quality of the soil is fast happening in many parts of the world because of the chemicals and because of the pesticides, fertilizers. That is why 1962, the idea of sustainability or sustainable development got germinated immediately after the Second World War, but took almost 20 years. Many books were written uh, in developed countries by many social activists, revolutionaries. They wanted to create consciousness among the people about the adverse effect of the modernity or the modern way of increasing our wealth. One such example is the Silent Spring. So Silent Spring is a book which first talks about the unsustainability of the human life. And like that, several books were written between 1960 to 1982. About 20 years, many books were written. I can tell about many books were in. So the Small is Beautiful, there is a book. So many such books were written only about the sustainable living. Can we have a living to sustain for a long time? Because life becomes unsustainable, we are losing the life. So therefore, understanding plants, soil, and tourism, ecotourism is all about taking the tourists to the villages and providing an opportunity to them to interact, to understand their life, how do they live with the nature, and without causing any harm to the nature. And if anybody gives back to the nature more, it is the people who live in the villages. Their need is very extremely minimum, and their expectations are minimum. Their aspirations are also minimum. Because I do disagree with the government for creating aspirational district, aspirational state. So because we need to limit to the aspiration, because aspiration we may go vertically or horizontally, but we may lose sight of our own identity in the future. That because Madam is from Aurangabad, from where the discussion means this program is organized. The city is the best example of suffering from the water scarcity for 2-3 months. So because over the years, for last 100 or 200, 300 years, so because it is one of the finest tourism destinations in the world for having UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and a very prosperous land, but which is losing the identity for the scarcity of the water. So schools, colleges, hotels, all are all are facing the brunt of the shortage of the uh, water. So therefore, water is a basic ingredient for anything. So therefore, what I'm trying to do, there must be a close intimacy of the people with the plants, water, soil, climate, and because now we have there are 4 seasons, but hardly we experience 4 seasons. We know one is summer, another is the rainy season. So many parts we have lost the winter also. So sustainable resource management, little waste, because most of the, thanks God, because we have a Green Key, where I'm associated as a jury member, lead Global Sustainable Tourism Council. Many such agencies in the world are trying to certify hotels and restaurants, and mostly the budget hotels. Almost all the hotels, they are trying to certify how can they use the resources in a sustainable manner, and how can they increase the level of the water table, or can they increase the quality of the air of the place, oxygen level, and can they contribute to the local farmers for preserving the indigenous seeds or indigenous plants. And can they, that is we call zero economy, zero-based economy, circular economy. These are the two basic concepts all of us are talking about it now. So because can we make the waste as minimum as possible, so that the last part of the product should be used for the human needs, so that we may not waste anything. So that is called the sustainable resource management. And we should look at the little waste, means zero waste. Spiritual and ethical foundation, as you know, a belief in the sanctity of nature give rise to the customs such as plant worship. We worship Tulsi, we worship Belva, we worship people, we worship Banyan, we worship Amla, many plants, we worship them, we cactus, we put aloe vera. So we worship them plants, because plants can only change the life of the sustainable living. And is a moral of the life of the people is to protect the ecology and environment, worshiping the plants. Then Ayurveda and wellness, it supports individual community health by encouraging a balanced lifestyle through natural practices, herbal medication. And these are all proven cases, because most of the hotels are today have the Ayurveda and wellness center, mostly the spa or the Ayurveda, Unani, alternative treatment center mostly. The hotel has not become a place only to rest and relax. Hotel is a place now is to recreate, rejuvenate, and recoup, reinvigorate, because the idea of the tourism is to send back the tourist healthy. The idea of the tourism is to send back the tourist in a peace of mind. The idea of the tourism is to send back tourists home with positivity, so that and with positive energy. Because tourism is nowadays, what is wrong with the tourism is when you ask somebody that no, I'm tired, I'm down, I'm exhausted because I travel a lot. So because that means there is something wrong with the planning of the travel. There is something wrong with the spending your time during the holiday. So if someone will scientifically plan and objectively assess or identify activities to be undertaken during the tour, perhaps a person will come back with healthy mind, healthy body, so that we call the holistic health when somebody will come back. So complete uh, overhauling of the metabolism can be done possible during the time of holiday, but something is wrong with that. But nowadays, what happened? We have a destination in Kerala, we have destinations in Karnataka, we have destinations in many parts of the country now. Almost most of the hotels, resorts, they have integrated the yoga, fitness center, yoga classes. They are inviting yoga guru. And for your information, in the evening they are organizing the music programs. Now the sound therapy, the Tibetan sound therapy, which is so popular today, and the guests are staying long days in Auroville in Pondicherry, and just to get the Tibetan musical sound. So, and that is very interesting, let me tell you frankly, because Lord Buddha is the symbol of peace and harmony, universal brotherhood, and that is what I'm trying to tell you. So therefore, yoga and mental health, which tourism is talking about it, and indigenous food system, because many tourists are going to farm stay, village stay. There is a place, Panduranga Tavare in Karnataka, sorry, in Maharashtra, very close to, I think, Pune. He is the person who is very vocal about the farm stay, agriculture, tourism, and indigenous food systems. So people are coming, tourists are coming large number to experience how it is actually. So frankly speaking, they want to correct their stomach upset, they want to correct their metabolism, they want to motion, etc. by eating the indigenous food practices, whether it's a millet, whether it is a millet has different forms. Okay. And at the same time, sustainable agriculture, because tourism largely depends on the agricultural produces. Tourism cannot grow today. If you go to any hotel in India, you will find a typical counter about the millet based items, whether dosa or idli or uttapam or any other, even cookies, candies, many things are yeah, are prepared with the millet ingredients, because which the last, I think 2023 we celebrated International Year of Millets. So then community-based practices, as all of you know, um, conventional methods of group healthcare resource management, decision making, enhance the resilience, general well-being of the community. Community-based practices. We have a idea called community-based tourism, which is an alternative form of tourism where it is not the community to manage the resources commonly or take the benefits of the tourism revenue, but allowing the tourists to be the part of the community-based tourism practices. Volunteer tourism, mostly, tourists go there to live in the community and work with them and help them in preserving water. They help them in recharging water. They try to teach them, because many such tourists who are experienced in water conservation or environmental experts, ecological experts, or soil experts, they come and teach this to the community members. So community members, with the interaction with the tourist, they also, and many of the tourists, they also take the best practices of the community. So community based practices, conventional methods of group, because healthcare resource management, because let me tell you frankly, if you go to any typical villages which where the modern way of life has not reached, perhaps it has reached all, but partially it has not reached. If you see, you will see there, people hardly go to take the any allopathic medicine. If they have cough and cold, they can use some uh, tulsi or some sort of medicine, natural way of rectifying their or correcting themselves, or recovering from the diseases. Mostly the such places, they don't hardly get such chronic deadly diseases. So therefore they are very resilient. So their happy life, and can we create such things? Most of the tourists now look for such community-based tourism. I can give the example of my sister. So, just a minute. So, so therefore, they are very resilient. But frankly speaking, recent experience of the cloudburst or the flash floods or the avalanche or landslides, etc., which are the creations or the results of our intervention into the nature. So, but I'm trying to present to all of you that anything which is there in a community is addressed uh, together, whether to preserve water or anything. So therefore, community-based tourism aims, promotes sustainable way of preserving the resources, so that they consider tourism is a part of the sustainable living. Tourism is a part of their livelihood. Without tourism, they may not be able to live, because they welcome the tourist warmly. They want tourists to be there, and tourists are also part of the life of the community. So that is called the host-guest relationship in tourism parlance. So what are the because applicability to current issues by taking the Indian knowledge systems? We have several ecological crises because we have lost dodo. We have many endangered species, endangered both floral and faunal species, whether it is uh, tiger, whether it is black bugs, whether it is many species. Many of them are endangered list. Endangered list is list of endangered animal, list of endangered plants are increasing day by day. Because despite all our efforts, all our preservation efforts, we are unable to stop adding the list of endangered list. So therefore, ecological crisis is a crisis. We cannot help it out because it is a crisis in the sense it is a time for all of us to address it. Otherwise, it becomes a disastrous. So then finally, the way we have lost dodo, we have almost lost the cheetah. Now the efforts are there to increase the population. Thanks God, population of the tiger is increasing, population of elephant is increasing because there are issues with elephants and tigers. They are getting into the human habitation areas which are being addressed. So, but what I'm trying to tell you, many such ecological crises can be addressed in harmonious manner by using the sustainable resources. Mostly, as you know, our expectations, our dependence on the natural resources should be minimized. So, Indian knowledge provides a framework for tackling environmental degradation and climate change. Because let me tell you frankly, if you go to any traditional villages, because they don't allow the rainwater to go into anywhere, because every village will have a huge pond, 3 4 ponds. So the rainwater streams will all go to the river, sorry, the ponds. So each village will have 3 to 4 ponds. One. And secondly, because each house you see, if you enter into the house, you will see tulsi leaf, you will see some leaves. So too many auspicious or sacred plants will be there to be worshipped. This is the way a child is tuned in the beginning of the life not to do any harm to the plant life. Similarly, the animals also, because they use the animals for their life. That is a different story. But what I'm trying to tell all of you is there are many traditional ways of preserving the waters, that what hotels, resorts, because as you know, resorts are using maximum resources of water for their swimming pool. Golf resorts, they are using too much water uh, for maintaining gardens, and especially water is the main ingredients or the main resource for running the property. So they are doing it. Many hill stations in India, as you know, they face the severe problem of the water in the summer, as summer becomes the peak season for the hill stations. Because rainy season they don't have any problem because they face the problem of landslide, etc., etc. They are fed up with water. But in the summer season, they don't have mechanism to store the water. So therefore, because in the hilly and mountainous areas, water flows into the stream, and mechanisms to store it, except the check dams. You know, check dams have or the dams, hydropower dams have bad repercussions on the ecology and environment. So resource management, because you know it guides how to manage land, forest, water resources in a way that prevents depletion and promotes ecological health over the long term. Because you know, first of all, let me tell you frankly, this is a high time for all of us not to attend the program to get a certificate just for our academic accomplishment, but to understand, internalize that can we do any change at the individual level or at the group level to manage the resources optimally, so that you know we may not be able uh, to do any harm to the resources. That is the primary purpose. Holistic development, of which I have been telling you, that you know all-round development from the all respect is not that lopsided development, We can only make big roads, big airports, big stations, big seaports, big buildings. But but on the other hand, we'll have many disabled, differently abled children. We'll have children without having any connections to the real life. So what type of society we are trying to create? So the tourism is all about um, bringing changes, because when tourists will come from one place to another, when come from one country to another country, so they try to understand many of the things. It's a balanced approach of development. It's all about sustainable development. Sustainable development is all about balanced approach, not the approach of doing from one-sided, because we want there is a chain relationship. So social justice, cultural resilience, economic progress, and we need to preserve traditional knowledge, and we need to go for contemporary innovations. Integration of Indian knowledge into tourism can bring in authentic, culturally rich, and sustainable experiences by incorporating elements like traditional agriculture, yoga, Ayurveda, Vastu Shastra, hospitality principles and hospitality models, tourism offerings, etc. Because India is known not for its culture, civilization, but for its hospitality. Because the way uh, tourists are treated warmly, tourists are given reception upon their arrival at any place, whether it is airport or railway station or the hotel or any other common places, is uncommon. And it is something to be noted, appreciated, to be remembered, and to be experienced. Because many countries, they have failed to understand the value of the hospitality. More importantly, if you go to any European countries, everything is mechanized. So mechanized way of, because some of the scientists may disagree with me that the mechanization or technology driven services are friendly with the sustainable practices. But to me, because what type of experiences we are giving to the tourist when they stay at a place. Now these are the changes. As I told you, changes are unavoidable, changes are unstoppable, changes cannot be uh, stopped at this place. But these are the forms of the tourism where Indian knowledge system can be integrated, can be associated, and the best practices of Indian knowledge systems can be uh, ingrained into the principles of this alternative tour. These are all the forms of different approaches. Agro and rural tourism, as you know, tourists, when they go for agro tourism or rural tourism, the idea of these two different forms of tourism is to provide them authentic, originality, authentic experiences which they can only do while participating or while uh, involving themselves. Similarly, the wellness tourism, because it's not about getting a treatment in a place, but about um, going to the field, experiencing it, going for a trekking, coming back. Each place is known for the traditional way of treating their skin, treating their fertility. That is a place I remember in Rajasthan, which attracts large number of tourists for the fertility problems. They don't go to IVF; they come to that place to have the problem, get the problem of fertility to be corrected in a natural way. It is a success story. So sustainable hospitality, cultural and heritage preservation, mm, because uh, Indian knowledge system is all about preservation, conservation, dissemination, certification. Indian knowledge system is all about giving holistic life, comfortable life, peaceful life, life with happiness, life with peacefulness, life with tranquility, calmness. So, our Indian knowledge system aims at uh, mm, providing pride to the people of their own heritage and culture. And it also talks about the development of the economic condition of a place, how community can have better quality of life. They can have better quality of life doesn't mean that they will have and they will have some life which will be contrary to the ecology. Can the life be aligned with the ecology and environment in place or the culture or nature of the place? Clear? Because authentic experiences is all about the experiences which we have two categories of tourist dear participants, allocentric and psychocentric. Majority of the allocentric tourists, they select the destination for authentic experiences. Because they want to visit such places where other common psychocentric tourists cannot go there because they want to find out the place which must not have been visited by many, so that they want to visit unspoiled, uncontaminated, undisturbed, undiscovered of such places, so that their experiences will be rewarding. And the culinary tourism, as all of you know, Indian knowledge system is deeply rooted with the culinary gastronomy tourism in India. It is not about the experiencing the delicacies or the taste of different foods, but about um, eating food with the peace. Because especially tourists, those who come for yoga, meditation, or Ayurvedic treatment, they are food patterns and food habits will be completely different, and they will provide the schedule of getting the food, so that for 2 to 3 months. So culinary tourism is all about experiencing how the food is there. They themselves will participate in cooking, and they will learn it, and they will go back. So this is all about. So then benefits of Indian knowledge system integration, because if Indian knowledge system is if it is integrated, it may provide too many benefits of guest experience, benefit of preserving water and maintaining clean air and creating a better ecosystem. Because I remember many of the hotels, they have created such a beautiful ecosystem with the plants and the ambience of undisturbedness. So it attracts the birds from the nearby places and they shelter there. Uh, I have I've experienced, I've seen in many Mayfair hotels in India, especially hotels are in Bhubaneswar city, Mayfairs. So if you go there inside, you'll see uh, the 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 birds of the locality. They come in the evening and they stay there and go back, and because they find the place as their best safest place undisturbed. This is just an example I'm trying to tell you. So because each hotel in as per the principles, because of the you know star ranking or any other accreditations, or we have a Nidhi portal, Minister of Tourism, no. So they have a criteria for preserving, criteria of giving license, certifications or recognitions provided. These are the principles or the guidelines or the instructions to be followed. And these are all part of the Indian knowledge system. The sustainability, long life, long continuation without any break. Anything you do, it should continue. So cultural preservation, economic opportunities, because it provides too much of economic opportunities for the people to revive now many of the lost practices, whether it's culture or social or economic or environmental, so that they can provide better experiences to the tourists. They can come back. Now many of the hotels, small alternative hotels, they are trying to bring in too many traditional now Indian cuisine. Mostly each restaurant, big restaurants, earlier it was called continental restaurants. Now almost all five-star hotels have opened the Indian restaurants. So this is the way of integrating Indian knowledge system with this. And the Indian key practice in also for nature conservation is ahimsa and the well-being of all local samagraha, juhads and staples, because these are the way. Tank irrigation, these are the examples I told. Tank irrigation, organic farming and manure, because we used to have in the villages the cow, the cattle, and we take that cow dung's gobar to a pit. I because I belong to I spent my childhood days in the villages, and
Anusa asked me to do invigilation from 3 to 4. So tomorrow.
oh. So then crop rotation, mixed cropping, so that because a particular crop which will not grow at a particular soil for a long time in tribal areas, they try to alter it. Sacred groves and traditional forest management. So community driven solution always is a approach to involve the people. It's a bottom up approach, not the top down approach. So knowledge system, Indian knowledge system outlines the importance of the community to play the pivotal and critical role in providing solutions to the problems, so that there will be no, because if some Western ideas will get implemented for the preservation knowledge system, which will not work out. So therefore, the idea is that all those things, because these are the principles, practices. But you take the example of tank irrigation, step wells, organic farming and manure, crop rotations. Because these are the things which are primarily related to tourism. Everything is related to sustainable tourism development, because sustainable tourism talks about peace and harmony. Because a society who should be free from violence, should be free from huntedness, etc. So then alternative tourism is all about incorporates culturally immersive and sustainable experience as part of Indian knowledge system. Alternative tourism promotes traditional methods of Ayurveda, yoga, hospitality. Strategy encourages economic gains, community involvement. And if you come back here, because direct contribution and indirect contribution of indigenous knowledge system or Indian knowledge system, these are the indirect contributions and these are the direct contributions. I'm going to share the slide with all of you. And because these are all related to our sustainable development goals, SDGs. So how many goals are related? Let me tell you. These are the some of the goals, as I told you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals. 7 goals are directly and indirectly associated with the indigenous knowledge system of India. That means before the United Nations conceived the idea of sustainable development goals, that means 5,000 years, 5,000 years ago, or 3,000 years ago, India conceived the or discovered the knowledge or invented the knowledge of having a sustainable living with the nature and culture, as they are the basic principles of 7 fundamental goals of sustainable development made by United Nations. These are the examples I'm giving. ITC hotels, combine Indian wisdom with best green practices by emphasizing resource conservation, circular economic principles, renewable energy, community empowerment through initiative, leave certificate. They have adopted communities and they are giving training to the community. They are hiring the community and they are doing a lot of things for different labeled children, especially you take the example of a Tulip group of hotels and a Lemon Tree group of hotels. They have uh, recruited different labeled children to work in a hotel. Zero waste to landfill gadget, net zero. These are all some examples. So next slide is CGS Casino Group of Hotel in Kerala into responsible ecotourism by using native architecture. This is also part of the Indian knowledge system. Procuring local organic ingredients, promoting biodiversity. Let me give a small example of CGS before I close. You know, there is a typical breed of black cow which was almost vanishing from the part of the Kumargam region of Kerala before the establishment of CGS Group of Hotel. Today, CGS Group of Hotel not only increase the population of the typical breed of the black cow short dwarf type, but getting milks from all the uh, households having these black cows to the hotel. So this is a small contribution to preserve the animal life or animal resource of the country or a village. So this is also Swara's key technique include rainwater gathering using traditional thatch roofs, engaging the community through conversation and employment. These are all the CGS group. This devotion to the environment, local culture is central to their corporate identity, which promotes the comprehensive approach to hospitality and conservation. So Taj Hotel, I have given in Kerala, integrate Indian knowledge system through wellness initiatives of yoga, meditation. Their Pathaya concept denotes a portion of the proceeds to community and environmental projects reflecting Indian principles of sustainability and visitor well-being. What I'm trying to let me wrap up within a minute. The idea of Indian knowledge system is not about discussing and educating or enlightening you. The idea is to sensitize you. The idea is not to gather knowledge about Indian knowledge system, which is freely available to everyone. What I presented to all of you is that, tourism as is an international or global through which many countries have witnessed the development. So also India. But the present time, the sustainable development approaches which got initiated 50 years ago from 82 or something like that, Rio de Janeiro, the idea of sustainability, the idea of Indian system are closely integrated and associated. That means what we do for sustainable tourism development is all about sustainable living, which are deep rooted in Indian knowledge system. So this is the right time for all of us to understand, comprehend, and practice, and try to incorporate in our syllabus, in our teaching, learning, in our personal way of life, or when we become a tourist to go to any other place, we can make less demand. We should not make too much of demand for. We may consciously use the water, and we try to work as a volunteer for either plantation or water conservation or some sort of things. So therefore, Indian knowledge system talks about can we provide the best resources, the best air, the best water, quality water present, but for future, they should also should not be deprived the way we practice today. So therefore, tourism should be promoted in the line of Indian knowledge system principles in Indian future. Thanks God, the government has awakened all of us through their schemes, programs, policy, and planning. That is why we are discussing about it. Hope all of you must have not understood, especially internalized the way we understand Indian knowledge system and the tourism, but Indian knowledge system is deep rooted with our Tirthatan, Paryatan, Desatan. So thank you very much, all of you. Wish all of you to have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Can you, sir, please stop sharing the screen so that we will go for the vote of thanks?
Yes, madam. Just a minute.
Yes, sir. It is still, we can see your screen,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll stop seeing. Okay.
Sir, thank you so much for your enlightening lecture. Although we are just running the time, so we would directly go for the vote of thanks because we have another lecture which is scheduled. So I request the participants to please give the vote of thanks. Participants?
Roll of 5. Roll of 5.
All must be busy.
Anybody else can do it, not a problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Gangunaidu Mandala.
Hello,
I'm
madam.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah.
Roll number 5 is available, madam, right now.
Yes, roll of 5.
Okay.
Hello, madam.
Madam, you should be on time and you should be in the lecture, okay?
Audible.
Please see to it and please give the vote of thanks.
Okay, madam. Okay. Respected all the participant and today's distinguished personality, sir, giving a lecture on the topic of redefined sustainable tourism development through application of IKS. Thank you so much, sir, for giving such a wonderful knowledge to us. And also thank you, Madhuri Sawant, madam, to giving us the opportunity to join this wonderful refresher course. Also, thank you, Rafe, sir, and all the dignitaries who give us a wonderful opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on the tourism and IKS. It was a wonderful lecture, and I hope it will be beneficial for all the participants to inculcate your lecture points in their upcoming, for syllabus framing and the other things related to Board of Studies. Sir, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to please be alert while giving the vote of thanks and also while giving introduction. It doesn't look good, because we are having professors pan India and somehow some participants are not on while giving the vote of thanks. Thank you.